Hey there, I'm Nate,
And I'm Mabry.
and welcome back to Runaway Rope Drop. First of all, we got microphones now because we got upgrades, so that's super cool. So hopefully we sound nice and clear and crisp. Um, but you clicked on this video because you want to learn about pin trading, and good for you because this is the ultimate guide to pin trading video. So we'll talk about what it is, how to do it, where to do it, and all that good stuff. So climb aboard. Let's have some fun.
Okay, so to start this video, we're gonna jump into the rules of pin trading, and it's kind of gonna morph into more like etiquette and things you should do but are not required to do, and I slowly might get more opinionated on it. But to start, we're gonna start with the for real rules that cast members will enforce with pin trading. What pin trading is, though, just really briefly, you bring pins that are Disney pins and you trade them with other cast members, with other guests, on boards, so that you can collect sets that you want to keep. It's
a free-ish activity that you can do in the parks.
Yeah.
The ish is that you have to upfront bring your own pins. You have to purchase pins. It's a fun little side game that you can do while you're at the parks or on property.
I see it as a little game for between rides. You know, you just got off a ride and ate lunch and can't get onto the ride yet. Do some pin trading. So, rule number 1. You can do 2 trades per person per board. If you see 3 or more pins that you're interested in, you better hope you're with somebody that will trade for you and then trade with you afterwards, because they will enforce 2 per person.
Exactly. Rule number 2, it must be an official Disney trading pin. You can't trade any pin that you found on the street or in your pocket. It has to be a Disney official trading pin. All of the official pins have a stamp on the back that says authentic Disney trading pin, and then a little copyright logo as well. So it's very easy and clear to see whether it is or is not official. There are a few exceptions to that, and I'll let you talk about it.
So the big, not even controversy, but other type of pin that some will trade, some won't, is Loungefly pins. So that's gonna look kind of like one of these ones, which on the back, you can see close up on the screen now, it has the Disney copyright C. This one's a Disney Pixar, but that stamping on the back with the crowns, that's Loungefly's waffling. Some people collect those, some people don't. So if you're trading with a guest, they might say no to Loungefly pins. Boards, they won't do Loungefly pins, but that one's becoming a lot more tradable, where you'll see them on the boards pretty frequently. But there's newer ones that are like fantasy pins, so they're made by regular people. That those ones are not very traded as of yet. Some guests are getting into trading those and collecting those, but not very frequent. I like to keep my Loungefly ones kind of separate in my trading collection. That way I can tell people that are looking like, oh, that one's a Loungefly one, in case they're not interested. Rule number 3, it must be in good condition. So the backing of it, make sure that that's not like bent or broken. The enamel needs to be smooth, not chipped, broken. The metal, make sure that's not like all scuffed up and gross looking. That's just kind of rude for the next person that goes to that board.
Exactly.
Rule number 4.
No duplicates, or no dupes, as some people might say. If you go up to a board or a cast member and you want to trade, you cannot give them a pin that is already on the board. Sometimes the boards aren't managed super well, and it might slip up that there's a second pin that's the exact same already on there. But more often than not, if you are trying to offer a pin to trade and it is already on that board, they will ask you to switch out for a different pin.
Yeah.
So you want to have more variety on the boards, so no trading duplicates.
Rule number 5. You can only trade pins for pins. So you can't walk up to a board, see a pin you like, and try and trade with cash. Like, you can't buy it off a board. And you can't do like other collectibles, like a popcorn bucket. Pins for pins only.
Yep.
Some guests might be open to trading other collectibles, but very rare. Very rare. Rule number 6.
ask first, especially when you're talking with other cast members and other guests in the park. Always ask. Don't assume. Ask for help. Ask if you can see a pin up close. If you can trade for that pin. Always ask. Be polite. Be kind. Respect cast members, please. Because we want to all have fun doing this, and so don't just assume and reach and grab and point. Ask.
Especially when it's like on their body. Like if they're wearing a lanyard or a sash, you can point and ask, but don't start touching.
Yes.
Rule number 7. This is a most times kind of a rule. Cast members must accept a trade, as long as the things we've already mentioned are applied. So it's got to be a nice pin, good shape, authentic pin.
Not a duplicate.
Not a duplicate. They have to accept the trade. However, if you're trading with another guest, they can say no. And you as a trader can also say no. It's your collection. Do what you want with it. Just do it nicely. Rule number 8.
Most times, cast members can't ask for a specific pin in return from you. So if you want to trade a pin, they can't say, oh, I would like that one that you have. There are some exceptions, and we'll get more into the specifics, but if it's a board that is a Diamondback board, or it's a limited release or limited edition board only, they are asking for higher quality pins, and you have to meet that demand to be able to trade on that board.
Keeps the magic going for the next person.
Exactly.
Rule number 9. Wait your turn. So this is where
Facts.
It starts getting into more of like my opinions and preferences, but I feel strongly about them. Wait your turn. So if there's a line for a cast member or a board or even with another guest, number 1, obviously just wait till it's your turn to trade, but also like wait patiently. Don't crowd up to the front. Oh, I'm just looking, not trading, just looking. When you're the person doing the trading and like somebody's breathing on your neck, it's number 1, hard to focus. And 2, if they're like, oh my goodness, I'd really love that pin that you were about to trade for, you just feel like a mean person trading for it. You were there first. You did the work to get there first. It is what it is.
Single file line, one at a time.
Just like grade school.
Yep.
You'll get there when you get there. If you're watching and there's a pin you're interested in and the person in front of you takes it, ask them. When they're walking away, just ask. Say, hey, was that for you to keep, or are you open to trading it? And sometimes they are. Like, they just liked it and we'll trade it later. If you got a pin that they are interested in, they might trade you for it.
Also, if you're in line and you see a pin that you really want, but it's not your turn yet, don't go, ooh, I really, really want that one. Because now the people in front of you might know that it's a really nice pin or it's something cool, and then they might take it, and now you're really sad and you just said something out super loud, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah. So just wait your turn. Wait patiently. Yep. Rule number 10.
Watch your children. So if you have kiddos at the park, keep an eye on them. This is just a general rule while you're at Disney, but when it comes to pin trading, there's some rules that they might not understand, or they might not fully grasp what a good pin is or a bad pin. So be available, be around, help them out. Mediate. Help them out, and that way they can have fun, and then you don't have to worry about them just causing them up or, running up to people and making them uncomfortable. So keep an eye on your kiddos.
Yeah. I've had kids come up to me and ask to trade like for one of my really nice pins for like either a fake pin or just a really not that valuable pin, and just there's no adult around to tell the kid that that's not a good trade, and I'm scared I'm gonna make a kid cry. So a lot of times I just do the trade anyways and regret it later. But sometimes. So if there's a parent or adult there to be like, oh, like, no, or just to make sure that I'm fudging in line, and because nobody wants to tell a kid that's not their kid that they can't budge in front of, like, it's
parents your own kids.
It's just awkward.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Rule number 11: move out of the way. So if you're in a line and you got up there, you did your trades, and you need to like adjust your pins to put them away, or another guest saw your pins and are interested in trading, grab your stuff, move to the side, That way, if there's more people trying to trade behind you, they can go, or if you're trading at like an active cash register or a guest experience location that they are also needing to help other people not pin trading, you're out of the way, you're not blocking anything, they can do their job. Rule number 12. Hopefully this is flipped the right way.
Be funny. If not, we're a bunch of silly gooses. Anyways, be nice. Just be nice. Be nice to cast members. Be nice to other guests in pin trading. Don't be rude. Early on, when we got into pin trading, it was pretty intimidating to go up to these high-end pin traders that have the big books and all the pins, and it's super cool and you want to look at them. And then when you ask about a trade, they're like, no, your pins are bad. I don't want to trade with you. Nah. And it's really discouraging, and it kind of bums you out. So there are ways to politely say no and reject a trade. If someone asks you for a trade and you don't see something you want in return, just like, I'm not looking to trade at this time, or there's nothing that I'm interested that you have right now. Just be nice. Don't be rude. Don't be a jerk.
Be nice when asking for a trade too. Like, don't just walk up and be like, can I have that one?
Yeah.
Like, there's nice ways to ask. Rule number 13. This one's a little complex, but it's okay to trade for a pin you're not going to keep.
Yeah.
So, like, especially if, like, another guest comes up to you, sees a pin you have, and it's like, that would make my day if I could have that pin. If they don't have a pin in their collection that's like that for you, but maybe they have one that's equal value, like dollar value, that's a good trader, it's okay to trade with them and then have that pin to trade in the future. I think there's a lot of people that, well, you don't have, like for me, Tangled. Well, you don't have any Tangled ones, so I'm not going to trade with you. If they have good quality pins, it's okay to trade for another trader.
Yeah.
And then, if you can spread the Disney magic, why not?
Yeah.
We all love being in the bubble, and getting a pin that completes a series really does make your day. You can do that for somebody else.
Then do it.
Why not?
Because it's fun.
Yeah. Those are kind of our rules, etiquette, things to think through when you're trading.
Yeah.
Now we're going to jump into the different types of boards.
Yeah.
So we touched on this earlier. We're going to go into more detail about it now. Aside from the ones we've already talked about, so your generic Mickey-shaped corkboard boards, and then your cast member lanyards and pin sashes, which we'll throw pictures up quick.
Yep.
There's some specific boards and trades that you can do. So, number 1.
Yeah, first board you might come across is a shadow box. We've seen these at Disneyland. We were just at World and we never saw any, so I'm pretty sure it's kind of exclusive to Disneyland. But essentially it is a wooden box with a glass front that you can see through and see all the pins, and they keep brand new or very new pins in there only, from the blind boxes, the blind bags, or the Hidden Disney series. To trade for these, you have to buy a pack on the spot in front of the cast member and open that pack in front of the cast member. This way they can ensure that what you're trading is new, it is real, and they know you're not, trying to pull a fast one on them. They were there to see what you just did.
Yeah.
And then once you open your pack, you are now able to trade for the specific thing you want from the shadow box. So if you're doing a series or set and you see a specific pin that finishes it, or you really, really like that pin, this is a great way to know. I see the pin I want, I buy a pack, I can trade for that exact pin. It's
just no dupes.
No dupes. I did that once and it was silly.
Another type of pin board you might come across is a diamondback board. I know this is they're testing it at Disney World. I don't know if they're testing it at land. But the cast member will tell you this is a diamondback board, and some new pins, so 2024, 2025 pins, have a Mickey head on the back that's made of 3 little like gems or diamonds. If you're trading on that board, you can only trade away diamondback pins to get a diamondback pin. The reasoning is because they're new, they're nice, and until as of very recent, I guess, they hadn't been faked yet. So if it had a diamond back on it, you knew it was an authentic real pin. I guess now they've started faking them, but they're not very good. So make sure you're looking at those Diamondbacks.
Next type of board is the mystery box board. So this is a board that has 24 cubes that are numbered, that you go up and you say your 2 numbers that you want to see, and the cast member will pull out that cube that corresponds with the number you gave them, and then you can see what kind of pins are in there. So sometimes it is a blind trade only, so they will not show you what's in the number you just called. You have to offer up a pin and then hope that you get something really cool in return. Sometimes you score, sometimes it's a miss, but this is just a fun way, a different way to pin trade from a board. We recommend that if you're with a bigger group, that you kind of work through together who's going to say what numbers, so you're not saying the same number over and over again. That way you can see more of what's behind in those cubes.
The other type of board you might come across, and these are always manned by a cast member. You may walk up and they'll say this is a limited edition board, a limited release board, or they'll just say this is nice pin for nice pins. Yep. So starting with limited edition, if you look on the back of a pin, which I'll show you a picture here, I have this tangled tea kettle that comes with a little teacup. And on the back of it, it says limited edition 4,000. Limited edition will always have a number with it. So a select number was released. 4,000 is kind of a lot, so this one's not actually that special. But you might get some that are limited edition 400 or less. And so if they say it's a limited edition, limited release, make sure that you're doing limited edition for limited edition. Limited release means it's not a select number that was sold. It was for a select amount of time it was sold. So this one we have for when Galaxy's Edge opened. And so this one's a limited release. So it was around the time it was open. So make sure you're doing a limited release, you trade for a limited release. The last one is just nice pin for nice pin. So look at the value of it. Try to make sure if you're taking something like this off the board, you're not putting something like this onto the board. Yeah. And the cast member, that's one of those situations where they may say no to a trade because it doesn't continue the same quality.
Yeah.
So just be on the lookout for those. Those are really nice for if you have decent pins.
The last kind of board or game that might happen alongside a board is trivia pins. So again, manned by a cast member. Whether it's on a board or it's on their lanyard or their sash. That was good. They might have, for the lanyard and the sash, they will have the pins backwards. So you'll see just the little rubber Mickey back facing you. Ask first, like we talked about, and say, hey, is that a trivia pin? And they'll say, yeah, it's a trivia pin. And to be able to see what that pin is, you have to answer a trivia question correctly. So this can be anything from Disney movies, Pixar movies, TV shows,
Marvel,
Star Wars, park history. And so they'll ask you the trivia question. If you get it right, then they'll flip it around and they'll show you. Mm-hmm. Usually these are really good pins, so it's worth, testing your knowledge and
it's fun.
Being prepared. And yeah, it's just a fun little add-on to the already fun thing that is pin trading. But then you get to kind of test your smarts and see what you know. And it's
feel like
fun.
A real Disney adult.
Yes. If you go up to a board, always ask if they have any trivia pins. They can't obviously put a pin on backwards on a cork board, but they might have some in their pocket or in a drawer or something, or behind the board. Mm-hmm. So ask, hey, is there any trivia pins? They might be like, yeah, we do. And then you can go about testing your knowledge. So.
Yep. Sometimes if they say no, it's not trivia, it's because it's a blind trade.
Yep.
So then sometimes it's trivia and a blind trade.
It's true.
Sometimes it's just blind trade. Sometimes it's just trivia.
Hey, Editor Nate here. So when we shot this pin video, it was like 50 minutes long. So to make it easier for you, we decided to make it 2 parts. So you just finished part 1. And part 2 is right here, up top here, so you can watch part 2 right away. That's what we got for part 1. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video and stick around for part 2. Also follow us on Instagram at Runaway Rope Drop. That's it. Go watch part 2. Bye.